Thanks for the support as a channel member, Christoph Nonti. Yeah, that only works if we play Manchester United away from home. Playing them at home in the FA Cup like we are today, we're going to make almost no money because our ground's tiny. That's why we had to sell Micah Beerith. Yeah, well, as it stands, our balance is just about even. So if we can survive 2 more days of this transfer window without selling any of the stars, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Hello and welcome to part 63 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have an FA Cup 4th round tie this year at home against Manchester United. We got them away last year and lost. We've got them at home this year and we will lose again. But this time, we don't get to earn very much money while we're doing it, which is lovely. Since you're last with me, form has been pretty good. We knocked our City rivals Posh out of the FA Cup for Harrison Davies' goal. Of course, it was going to be Harrison Davies who scored the goal in that game. We were unbeaten in the league for quite a long time until we lost to Blackburn in the most recent match, which I'm putting down to pre-big match nerves. We know this happens from time to time in FM, but this is what the league table looks like. 29 games gone. We're on 53 points. So we're 7 points off the top of the table, only 1 point clear of Brentford, who are just outside the playoffs. So definitely still looking down rather than up, but we are also definitely still in the mix. I mentioned we've had to sell Micah Beerith. We were probably going to be selling him anyway, but getting a couple of 100,000 in for him was very important in keeping the books as balanced as possible, which is helping me keep transfer offers at bay. So Micah Beerith has gone to Blackpool, where he's joined up again with Tom Bacharek-Piteta, who has been withdrawn from his loan with us. I don't know if he's getting in their team now. He is. There he is, look. He just wasn't getting in our team anymore. He's gone back to his parent club, Blackpool, and is now, finally, after all these years, a regular starter with them, even though when he joined them, they were Championship and we were Southern League. Now we're Championship and they're League One. So what a strange reversal of fortunes we've had and he's had with them. But he's hopefully going to have a little place to hang out with a buddy that he's known for many years now in the shape of Micah Beerith. It means our bank balance looks like this. So we're slightly overdrawn. That should be dealt with today with the Manchester United money. And we have had big offers in this month for some of our stars. You can't see any of them on there because they were earlier in the month. But we've had, I think we turned down a £5 million offer for Renan. I've not got any interest in letting him leave for less than, let's say 11 million is what Renan goes for. If we don't get at least 11 million, he's not going. We also had offers for Alex Williams for a couple of million. We had a couple of £3.5 million offers from various Chinese clubs for Harrison Davies, but we have been able to turn them all down because we're not desperately overdrawn at the moment. That situation won't be the same in the summer, though, unless we can get to the Premier League. So as much as the Manchester United game is important for balancing the books right now, it should at least put us into the black to see us through the end of this transfer window. It is super important if we want to keep hold of our stars that we go up into the Premier League this year. It is our only option. If we stay in this league, we're going to have to sell a star. But in the selling star news, and I'll probably forget about this again several times before the end of the season, but we have once again been able to extend the loan of Kieran Hodgkinson. We're paying him a lot of money and we've paid a big transfer fee to do it. We paid like £300,000 worth of transfer fee to keep him in for another year. But we've also extended the loan of Nathan Curry. So both Curry and Hodgkinson back in on loan again until the end of next season. So another 18 months left for them. And hopefully by the end of those loans, we'll be a Premier League team and we can sign them both back permanently. That's got to be the goal. But let's get into the Manchester United game. This is the team that we're sending there to, we're not sending them anywhere. It's at our place. We just don't want to embarrass ourselves, really. That's the only goal here. Don't make ourselves look silly. Hopefully make enough money to get the balance back where it's supposed to be. Sell a few half home, half Manchester United shirts that all football fans love. Not shirts, scarves. Can you get them as shirts? I bet you can, and it's disgusting. But we're going with Williams in goal, a back four of Hall, Davies, Barr and Brewerton, Curry and Hodgkinson in midfield, Hamilton and Renan out wide, and then Cannon and Jessup up front. I think this is probably my first choice team. Oh, what have I just done there? I've clicked something. Right, there you go. That's what I did. Clicking. Oh, what is going on here? We get our first choice team and then all of a sudden I start messing it up. Right, that's back how it's supposed to be now. If we have a look at who else we've got knocking around the place, there's no injuries. in our first team squad, which is getting ever smaller as we continue to loan players out. So let's stick these two down into the under 23s. But this is our first 11. We are fully fit. Nobody is suspended. This is the team we would want to play if we had everyone available, because we have everybody available. So I think this might be the first time all season I've been able to field my actual first 11. Let's see how we get on against Manchester United. It's going to be an interesting test, because if we're going to be in the Premier League next year, which we might be, we need to be able to compete against the likes of Manchester United. And unlike most Premier League promotions, we're not going to go and spend £30 million on Premier League players to allow us to compete. It will largely be these players next year, regardless of what league we're in. But it's also going to be an important test for this system, because there is, once again, people calling for the change to 4-2-3-1. I hear you, and I am tempted. I'm waiting for Jonathan Akani more than anything. If I can get to the point where I can go with Akani and Curry in central midfield, I can then push Hodgkinson further forward and have him in behind Jessup. And I think that's probably where we're heading, or maybe even in behind Cannon with Jessup out on one wing, Renan out on the other. But Akani not quite ready to be starting week in, week out, I don't think. So at the moment, my first choice midfield is still Curry and Hodgkinson, even though I know so many of you really don't like Kieran Hodgkinson being wasted in central midfield, as he is our best player. But I've swapped him around. He's playing as the deep line playmaker on support alongside Curry as the defensive ball-winning midfielder. So it's not quite Hodgkinson being stuck there almost as a holding midfield player today, but he's still not going to be getting involved as much as we'd like him to further forward. 1-0 down already. David De Gea still in goal for Manchester United after all these years. Renan trying to battle the ball off of Marcus Rashford there on our right-hand side, and Rashford's just weaving through as if our defenders aren't there. Pellistri, one of our posh players from non-league to legend this year. We've seen him do that a few times over the course of FM21. I can't even feel bad that it's happening to us, because I've enjoyed him doing it so many times. But what I'm not enjoying is the fact that we're 2-0 down at home after 7 minutes, and already this is looking like a very different proposition to when we went to Old Trafford this time last year. And although we got beaten, we had a relatively competitive game, but I think last year they played a much weaker side. This looks like, based on the players that I'm noticing in it, a fairly close to full strength Manchester United team, which is not ideal for us at all. We've got the ball back in midfield through Hodgkinson, who's trying to get it out to Jessup on the left. Jessup keeping hold of the ball well, looking for options. In fact, he's gone past his right back. Cross comes in. What a cross. And Renan is there to finish it off. And we're not out of this yet. It's great work from Tommy Jessup on the left-hand side. Does really well to hold up the play, let everyone else get into position, then go past his man and hit an absolute beauty of a ball for Renan to come in off that right-hand side. This is why Jessup one wing, Renan on the other might work for the future. I know Jessup is officially playing up front today, but that was all good wide work from Jessup, and it's something he's adding to his game. We were talking about him earlier in the season, getting a little isolated because he was kind of one-dimensional, get your head down and run forward, and he didn't do it there. He played very, very well. And now it's Hall looking for the long throw into the penalty area. We get, or try to get, the flick on, but it's United who are going to be breaking away again, and we have no right back. You can see Nathan Curry is chasing back to try and support Davies. Luckily, the shot is a wild one from the Manchester United attacker. It remains 2-1 as we head into the final 10 minutes of this first half. Jessup heads clear, and Cannon was, I mean, he had the right idea, but ran in the wrong direction. Poor old Cannon. He'll be fine. And then Hall collects the ball from the dink over the top, and Curry heads it on to Hamilton, who needs to get there first, and does. And we've got the opportunity for a counter-attack here. Renan's in space on the right, and we find him, and it's Renan running at a retreating Manchester United defender, plays it back to Brewerton, now Hodgkinson and Curry. Curry plays it back into Hodgkinson again. It's now Jessup. Renan, beautiful ball over to Hamilton. Hamilton just needs to find a home shot. In fact, he doesn't. He can just stand there and wait to be kicked. And despite looking like we were out of this game after 7 or 8 minutes, we've now got the opportunity to equalise before half-time. It's Kieran Hodgkinson from the penalty spot, and he scores. Home 2, Manchester United 2. This is on, boys and girls. We are back in this game. We had a slow start, but look how happy the fans are now that we have dragged ourselves back into this with some very neat passing play in midfield there. Everyone involved in that move did really, really well. and we deserved a goal from it. And I think 2-2 probably flatters us a little bit, but we like flattery. Davies has hit the crossbar. It's gone in. It's an own goal, I think. It's the slam dunk corner. Jessup with the in-swinger. Davies smashes his header into the crossbar. It bounces back, hits Ruben Neves, and all of a sudden, we're in the lead in this game. Absolutely calamitous defending from Manchester United, but we don't care how they go in. We don't care if there's a penalty and an own goal in there. At the moment, Holme FC are in the lead against Manchester United in a competitive football match. This is absolute madness. Blow the final whistle now, please, ref. We've had enough. This will do. I mean, we've scored 3 goals against the Manchester United team that's got De Ligt in the defence. This is absurd. Renan, that's terrible from Renan. I mean, that might just keep him at the club a little bit longer, a terrible pass like that. And now Andy Hall has given away a penalty at the other end. And now all eyes on Alex Williams. Can he make the save to keep us in the lead as we head into half-time? It's Rashford versus Williams, and it's 3-3. It was fun while it lasted. We had a lovely couple of minutes there where we were beating Manchester United. We didn't expect to get that out today, especially 10 minutes in. So we'll take it. We know we're still getting defeated, but we had our little moment of excitement, and I for one, very much enjoyed it. 3-3 at half-time. It's definitely a Kev performance. This is what we do. We go out there and we put on a show, and we are definitely putting on a show today, and we don't need to make any changes at half-time. Everyone seems fit and raring to go. Everyone's motivated. Troy Cannon looking a little bit out of his depth, but then so is Curry ratings-wise, and Curry was very much involved in that in the lead-up play for that penalty. So don't believe everything you see looking at the rating, I guess. We'll give Cannon a little bit longer before we bring on Mr. Big Game Danny Pritchard to try and do his magic from a set piece, especially if it remains 3-3. Joe Barr's getting sent off here, and that probably puts an end to the shenanigans, because down to 10 men, we're not getting back into this game. And that's a real shame, because everything was going so well. Right, we are going to have to make big changes now. Cannon is going to come off, and we're going to bring Shay Charles on for him at the back. And then, what time is it? 62 minutes. Do we go with just one up top for a little while? A lot is going to depend on whether they score from this free kick. If they score here, it's going to be Pogba to take. Oh, it's Rashford's number 6 now, is he? Interesting. And does score. Oh dear. Okay. Well, the plan has still got to be get Pritchard on, but I can't play Danny Pritchard as a lone striker. He's just not mobile enough. So we're going to need to shuffle everything around. I'm not quite sure how to do that shuffling. Jessup looking for another slam dunk corner. Davies is there again! And Harrison Davies with his 10th goal of the season. We don't need Pritchard. Davies is doing what Pritchard was going to come on to do. It's 4-4. The 10 men of home are putting on a real fight here against Manchester United. It is beautiful. And now I still don't know what to do. Right, Micah Hamilton, we are sacrificing. Can Renan play centrally? He can't really. Jessup can. So we could maybe play Jessup there with Renan and Pritchard ahead of him, and that stops Pritchard getting too isolated. We're going to do it. We've got Connor Roberts sat there. No, Pritchard's the game changer. He needs to come on in a game like this. And then if we put Renan up with him, taking off Tommy Jessup seems insane. Is taking off Renan less insane? I think we go with this. We keep Jessup on. I want to get Roberts on in there, I think. Can Renan do this? He should be able to do this. We need to train him into being an attacking midfielder. He has all the attributes you'd expect to be able to do that role. But for today, we're going to bring Connor Roberts on to do that role. And we're going to do that. And we're going to make him on support. Pritchard's going to be a target man. And then we have to make sure that Pritchard is being aimed at from these corners. So we've got Davies and Pritchard in position. Why have we got no extra striker in? There you go. He can go there. So we've now got Davies and Pritchard for the set pieces. You never know what might happen now, boys and girls. It's 4-4, 15 minutes to go. Danny Pritchard, Mr. Home, is on. Mr. Big Game. He's scored some goals against some very big teams in very big games. That's why Danny Pritchard comes on in games like this, because he lives for him. And I want to see him do it one more time. Oh, Williams has been beaten there. In fact, he's disallowed for offside. Now, is there going to be replays in this FA Cup? I know there isn't in the first season of FM21. I don't know if they're gone permanently now, but a replay would be £1 million again if we could get back to Old Trafford. That would be huge. I probably should have looked at the rules before the game. We're encouraging now for the final 8 minutes. They're in the area again, and this time it goes just over. 5 minutes left now. I don't know if we're clinging on to get a replay or if we should be going forward to try and grab a winner. It's all very complicated. We'll find out in a second, depending on whether or not it goes to extra time. Hodgkinson intercepts in midfield, but then gives it away immediately. This would be a very upsetting way to lose the game. Pritchard holding the ball up well, tries to release Jessup, but he couldn't quite get past that last man. But Hodgkinson wins the ball back in midfield again, but then gives it away in midfield again. And now Manchester United with a chance for a last-minute winner. And, Shea Charles with the clearance off the line. Williams does well to take the pace off the ball, gives Charles the chance to recover. And now with 20 seconds to go, it's still 4-4. Free kick comes in. Davies, of course it's Davies, is going to head clear. And United's still looking for the breakthrough. We have made the city of Peterborough proud today. Nathan Curry just breaking legs the way he does, because why not? The game is all but over. I don't know if we've got extra time. All the added time is done. If they score here, it's hideous. And they don't. Alex Williams just catches it. No fancy TV saves. He's just going to catch the football. And is it extra time? It is extra time. After all that, we're not getting the replay. So can we make an extra substitution here? That's the question. I think you can in the FA Cup. So who is most tired? We can't take Hodgkinson off. Who have we got on the bench? Eli Campbell is going to come on for Andy Hall if he can. He can't. Right, well, in that case, we just keep going and see who blinks first, I guess. We've still got that set-piece route to goal through Davies, through Pritchard. If we can get a corner, we give ourselves an enormous opportunity. Jessup still chasing down the goalkeeper this late into the game. I am impressed with that boy once again. Tommy Jessup, fantastic signing. All those years ago now. What a player he's turned into. And now United coming at us again, but Connor Roberts now sliding in to make the interception. He's up for it too. We've got all of our youth players involved today. They're all so desperate to succeed. And we've conceded a goal almost immediately after the start for extra time. And we are now giving ourselves an awful lot to do. But you know what? We're going to go and do it. We've got half an hour to get a corner. We're going to go attack him. We're going to demand more. Probably a little bit harsh in the circumstances because we've played exceptionally well, but half an hour to get a corner. We can get, 20 minutes now to get a corner. We can win a corner in 20 minutes, and then you never know what might happen. Hodgkinson heads clear, but there's no one there between Jessup and the clearance. That's normally where the player who's been sent off would be. And we've had to sacrifice that man because of the red card. I emphasise again, we're down to 10 men and we're playing this well against Manchester United. This is one of the great home performances, even if we end up losing. We're approaching half-time in extra time now. Still 5-4 United. We're still just desperately hoping for a corner. It's all we want. And they are coming down this right-hand side again. Oh, they've got a man over here. And, what a save from Alex Williams. Not to be outdone by all of the other youth team heroes and the rest of the team. Williams is there, still making world-class saves at this stage of the game. Jessup back defending the corner again. Heads clear. That's probably a worry. That means we've left Pritchard forward. And Jessup's there defending the corner. That's probably the wrong way round. Bit late to fiddle with that now. But we're going to the second half of extra time. And we've got 3 men just stood on the edge of their area. We want a goal. Goodness me, do we want a goal. Poor old Hodgkinson and Curry are shattered in midfield. They've done so much running today. But Hodgkinson's still trying to chase down the ball, win it back and get a counter-attack moving. The energy that our players are showing, it's beautiful to see. I'm very proud of these boys today. Well, I'm still going to encourage them. It's now 6-4 to Manchester United. We're not getting back into the game now, but who cares? We've done ourselves proud, and I hope they see it that way. Joe Barr needs to have a word with himself because we've had to play for an hour without an 11th player, and we're going to be shattered going into our next league game. I just hope we haven't played so well that teams come in and steal our players now, because that would be a disaster. And now we've lost Tommy Jessup. That is a big problem. because if he's broken his leg or something silly like that, that's the sort of thing that has an impact on whether or not we get promoted. We're ending the game with 9 men. Manchester United have broken our top scorer. And, just got to be very proud of what they've done. They're all inspired and motivated, as they should be. And now we need to check in on the bank balance and check in on Tommy Jessup to make sure that he's not taking a serious injury there, because it's all for nothing if we've broken him. Right, just flick through all this. Youthful Home come unstuck. Jessup is going to be out for a couple of weeks, which is not ideal. Pulled calf muscle. We got 10 grand of prize money for getting defeated, plus gate money. That does bring us back into the positive. I'm now confident that just about anything, just about any loan, any transfer offer can now be turned down. We've got a couple of days before the window closes. We play Coventry just after, hopefully with no players having left in the meantime. Well, we just about survived deadline day. I say just about, we definitely survived it. We did have a couple of offers, including one valued up to £2 million for Chris Stone, a young defensive midfield player who we brought, who came through our youth system 4 years ago. When's that? 4 years ago. He's another one who slipped through the net, didn't get himself a name in the game. We don't ever use him because we don't use defensive midfielder, but he can play in central midfield. And at 19, 4-star potential. I was very tempted to take £2 million for him, but very little of it was up front, which is why we ended up rejecting it. But the more interesting one, probably Connor Roberts, a deal valued up to £7 million from Sheffield United, who are in the relegation battle in the Premier League, which again, we were able to turn down. That, I think, is the highest value transfer offer we've ever received, and we're now able to turn those fees down. Like I say, though, if we don't get promoted, we are not going to be in a position to turn them down again. We don't have the Manchester United money this year. We might have to sell someone like that in the summer. In other news, though, Renan becomes homegrown in England in the summer. And if we go and find him, where is Renan? Why am I not just going straight to the squad? Renan becomes homegrown in England in the summer. That loan move, that 6-month loan move, I think that means this time next year he becomes homegrown at club, which is significant, especially because he's only 19. It's significant because it means if we're forced to sell him, if we can keep hold of him for another year and then we have to sell him, we will be able to bring him back on loan, be able to sign him back again in the future. So the goal now is to keep Renan for one more year if we can. And if we go up to the Premier League, we won't have to sell him anyway. It will be fine. But this is the team for the Coventry game. We've had to shuffle things around a little bit because it's 3 days after we've just put 120 minutes in against Manchester United. Plus Joe Barr suspended after his red card. Tommy Jessup is injured. So for today, we're going with Williams in goal. A back four of Hall, Campbell, Charles and Curry as Davies and Brewerton sit it out on the bench because they've got tired legs. And then Bandera and Hodgkinson in midfield. Hamilton and Hughes out wide with Cannon and Renan up front. With Jessup obviously being unable to play up there. So let's submit the team. Kieran Hodgkinson also not fully fit. I guess this would have been an opportunity to start Akani, which I do need to start doing at some point, but it just worries me a little bit because Hodgkinson's so good. If we take Hodgkinson out of the side to bring Akani in, no matter how good Akani is, he's not going to be as good as Hodgkinson. If we were in mid-table, I'd do it without question, but we can't really afford to drop points. And for that, we've got to play our best players as often as we can. It's difficult enough not being able to play Harrison Davies, but I know he breaks easily, whereas Kieran Hodgkinson tends not to. Curry's picked up a knock here, so he is going to have to come off. Taking a free kick first that Hughes heads just over, but we're taking no risks with Nathan Curry. We've got Brewerton down on the bench, so Brewerton's rest lasted all of 24 minutes before he's had to come on and replace a now injured Nathan Curry, which hopefully isn't going to be a big injury. But if it is, again, it's another route for Akani to force his way into the team, I guess, if Curry's not going to be available in midfield for a little while. Not that we want that to happen. Bandera, I think it is, who's hit the ball forward there. Bandera and Hodgkinson kind of getting on top of each other as both want to be pulling the strings in midfield. Hodgkinson they're not both playing as playmaker, are they? No, I was going to say Hodgkinson should be a box-to-box midfielder today, and he is. So I don't quite know why he's getting in Bandera's way there. That was definitely his ball. Hamilton now come inside. He's got Renan who's drifted out wide to take his place, and Hamilton and Renan exchanging passes beautifully. Troy Cannon with a lovely pass, and Renan rounds the goalkeeper for a lovely goal. There's an argument that boy should be playing up front. I definitely recognise it, But I don't know, what do we do? Play Hughes and then Renan goes up front alongside Jessup and we drop Cannon? It's nice having players that can play in so many positions, but we don't have anyone else in the squad who's got that composure to take the ball around a goalkeeper as comfortably as that and just secure a tap in, plus be involved in the build-up play for the goal as well. That was lovely football from Renan, a big assist from Hamilton and Cannon, but Renan just looked sensational there. And now, just before half-time, we've got here Kieran Hodgkinson with the chance for a second one, and he's hit the base of the outside of the base of the post. It goes wide, and it looks like it's going to be 1-0 as we hit half-time, which does put us up to 4th place in the league as things stand. 30 games played, again, 29 and a half. Only 4 points behind Fulham, though, who are up in 2nd place. And, of course, our Kieran Hodgkinson's parent club. So what we really want is for us to get promoted and Fulham not to, because then it becomes an awful lot easier to sign Kieran Hodgkinson permanently, which will be one of our first orders of business when we get some Premier League money. Hodgkinson with the free kick. Cannon has the ball in the back of the net, but it's disallowed, and it remains 1-0 for now. Hodgkinson is tiring fast. I think we're probably going to give him 5 minutes and get Akani on into that central midfield spot. But first, Brewerton's going to take a throw, finds Hughes. Hughes has got Hodgkinson lurking on the edge of the area. Bandera now back to Hodgkinson again, who's been left in an awful lot of space to play a beautiful pass for Renan. That's Kieran Hodgkinson's work for the day done. And Renan is making a very, very strong argument that he's a striker and not a winger, because this is his first start up front in quite a long time. He's grabbed himself 2 goals and looked very, very dangerous. The only problem is he wants to play the exact same role as Tommy Jessup, and Jessup is awesome. So it's difficult to make that call. We are going to bring Akani on, though. That's a little bit of an easier call to make. So Akani, I think we usually play... I would normally switch him to being a playmaker, but, you know what? We might make it... Actually, no, we'll leave him as box-to-box. And then for my last trick... Who have we got? I want to get Connor Roberts on, really. Get some game time into him. I think we'll probably... We're going to put Renan back out on the wing again, which is going to upset everybody. But we're going to take off Hamilton and we're going to put Renan out wide. Cannon can go a little bit further forward, and then Roberts can be the support striker in there. And the coach reports tell me this is Renan's best position, inside forward on the left-hand side, which he never gets to play. He plays there less frequently than he plays up front. We almost always use him on the right-hand side because Hughes is the only other real option there. And Hughes, although he has lots of promise, hasn't really fulfilled any of it yet. Renan's involved again. It's a beautiful pass to play Hamilton in. It's now 3-0 to home. This has been a very, very good performance from Renan. 2 goals and a very good assist. He's having a good game, isn't he? Bandera does well, plays it across to Hodgkinson, who's very much involved again. And then Renan and Hamilton combining nicely. Half the players involved in that move are now coming off. But with 3-0 up, it doesn't really matter at this point. We're going to drop a little bit of praise. We're going to glance at the league table, check that we are still just the 4 points behind Fulham, which is excellent. 3 points ahead of West Brom, who are now the team in 7th place. So we're just sat in the middle of this playoff picture. There's probably 8 or 9 teams who could still be in those playoffs come the end of the year. We're very much one of them, but we could maybe start tentatively looking up a little bit, because this has been a very good game today. Renan trying to get his hat-trick now, forces the corner, which I think he's probably going to go across and take himself. He does. Renan looking for the in-swinger to this near post, and it's headed clear by the Coventry defender, but Bandera's there to collect. But dawdles a lot on the ball, and they get the ball off him again, and they are looking for a counter-attack. It doesn't really matter if they succeed in it. Eli Campbell thinks it matters. He's trying to take advantage of Joe Barr being suspended for a few games and force himself into the team. Ahead of Shay Charles as the partner for Harrison Davies for the next game. It's nice having 4 very good centre-backs. I think it's been a long time since we've had 4 relatively interchangeable centre-backs. I don't even feel like I'm really, really missing Davies when he's injured. Now we've got Campbell, Charles and Barr, who are all of similar quality to play alongside him or instead of him. 3-0 though, we'll absolutely take that. 30 games gone, so 16 left to play. We're definitely in the mix. Curry's not going to be out for any length of time at all. He'll be back in for the next game. And now I've got to decide whether Renan's going to be the striker or not. So we're probably going to come back tomorrow about halfway through this bunch of remaining games, somewhere in around here. and see where we stand and whether we're looking for automatic promotion, playoffs, or just another season of not quite. I hope it's not the third one. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.